Hello, everybody. We're gonna have a little Instagram live. It's gonna be just that. How does it? Just that's the note, right? That's how I'm supposed to. I sing in real life. It's gonna be just that good. Yeah, yeah. Just that good. Gonna talk about royalties. Yeah, just that good. Just that good. Gonna talk just that good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There we go. That's how we do it. Hi, everybody. Darren Criss here. Why are we here? I've done a few of these before. I've done some Instagram live things or some other things that I've worked on, and they were fraught with peril. I tended to screw up some things with connecting other people, but we're here to talk about Royalties. It's a show that I created with my friends that has been a long time coming about songwriters working their way through the music industry, and it features a ton of original music that I wrote all the songs for, along with a bunch of fun collaborators. So I didn't write them all by myself. I had some amazing people help me with that. All those songs are available now wherever you can get music, Spotify, etc., where else you get music. But the album Season 1, Royalties, the soundtrack, featuring the 10 songs from all 10 episodes, including 2 other songs that we'll talk about today with some of these amazing guests that we have. Yeah, the show is available only on Quibi. If you're not familiar with what Quibi is, you can download it for free. There's a 14-day free trial, and you can watch our show, and hopefully you love the app so much that you stick to it and maybe watch some of the other shows that they have on there. But that is the only place you can see, the show that we worked on, Royalties. So I'm in it as an actor. Like I said, I wrote the songs, and there's a lot of other incredible people in there that we're going to talk to today. What am I forgetting? There's full music videos that are not only in the app Quibi, but one of the things that's not on Quibi, it's on my YouTube channel. You can check out Darren Criss, the YouTube channel. We have all 10 music videos with the lyrics attached. A lot of them won't make sense out of context, so if you want them to make sense, definitely check out the show. But we're here to celebrate that full album drop, and if you've watched the show, thank you for checking it out. And if you haven't, hopefully this might inspire you to check it out and familiarize yourself with not only the show, but some of the people that we're going to be talking to today. So the first person that I would like to introduce is my lovely co-star. She plays Sarah, the other half of the writing duo, Pierce and Sarah. I was so happy to have her part of our show. She was one of the first people we cast, and I'm going to try and have her join right now if I can figure this out, because I'm so crappy with Instagram. Takes me forever to figure out. There she is. All right. The one, the only, Heather Donahue. Hi, Heather.
I'm shocked how easy that was. I was ready to click on the button and be like my mom figuring out.
Here we are.
Next.
Here we are. Hi. Look at them
How
bangs.
are
Your hair's a little different from in the show. I love it.
I know. Well, like we talked about in our MTV interview, this is kind of like my homage to that receptionist in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
If you've never seen that movie, it's a classic. Yeah. Do yourself a favor, check it out. Heather is nailing the hair from it. Heather, when we cast you, we wanted to have you because obviously for your comedic chops and your musical background, and we've talked about this in other interviews about how, you and I both have imposter syndrome as far as our abilities as singers.
Oh,
it's sort of like
Jessica, I'm seeing some friends.
You're so good. You're seeing all the people saying hi. We see all your hearts. We see all the people that are waving.
Darren,
we wave back at you.
I'm just going to be in a conversation with the
No, it's okay. You should.
Don't interrupt me with my conversation with them, please.
Please. These fans are saying hi, and we're saying hi back to them. We got a lot of people, so I'm just barreling all through this.
So yes, tell me.
So I was going to say, was there any reluctance when I said, hey, it's going to be a music show?
Fuck no. I mean, I was just, am I allowed to curse on here?
Yeah,
no,
fuck yeah.
I was just thrilled you were asking me to be a part of it. And, I'm a big believer of fake it till you make it. So I was like,
which is what we do on the show, essentially.
Oh, hi, Jackie. I can't wait to hear you sing. Okay, I'm going to fangirl out over here. I'm going to kick back and watch all these amazing people that you're about to have on.
Can I ask you one question about Sarah? What was your favorite part about Sarah? Was it any lines, any wardrobe, any scenes?
I'll tell you what my favorite part was. It's that Sarah stands up for what she believes in, and she fights for justice. And I think right now is a prime time for everybody to fight for justice. I'm going to have a link in my bio to Initiate Justice. It's an amazing organization. You guys should all be supporting right now. They end mass incarceration in LA. And,
yes. Heather, more on that later. We're gonna talk about this a bit later. We're just barely cracking the surface on that. As Heather said, this is a very important time that's much larger than things like that seem very silly and small as royalties. We're gonna get into that later. So we're just gonna say bye to Heather for now. But thank you for joining us. We will see you in a second.
I love you.
Wait. I just need to hear. Do you know the rest of the song? Na 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 na.
This is the theme song. This is the theme song.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you in a bit. Mwah.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. X out of there. I'm getting better and better at this, guys. The next guy is, I'm not really going to introduce him. I'm just going to go ahead and have him join because I'm running a little behind. If you're watching this and you're supposed to join on this, just know that I'm going to be a couple minutes behind because I like to chat with all the friends that we haven't seen in a bit. This next guy has been a friend, what's the word? Co-conspirator for many years. There he is, Mr. John Stamos, everybody.
Hi, Darren. Hi, everybody.
Hey, buddy. What are you playing?
I was playing Jesse's Girl. I just try to.
In what key?
E, what key is it in? E?
It can be in E. It can be in D.
Oh yeah, D. It never works.
I know, because it's a delay.
I see you have your fingernails black because you're so obsessed with my character in.
Yeah, your character. Did you ask to have? So, if you guys don't know, John plays Elia Peck, who is sort of an evil adversary to Pierce and Sarah on Royalties. I envisioned him as kind of an evil Desmond Child. For those of you who don't know who Desmond Child is, he's a prolific songwriter, man about town, just an incredible songwriter. You can look up his hits. Very
Desmond's
kind of
a good
sexy
guy,
man.
though. The guy
He's a great guy.
wrote for me is an asshole, and Heather got in like 8 fucks, so I got it. He was a fucking.
You can get
asshole.
as many fucks in as you want. Yeah, asshole. Yeah.
So why did you think of me, Darren? Let me ask you that.
Because I'm tired of seeing you be a nice guy.
Okay.
It's like let's let John be the skeezy asshole that he knows he is in real life.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you got it. You know, I loved it.
you.
I love playing this character. Yeah, when I got there, I was like, "What? I need something." He wore a lot of makeup. Even the character, like, sort of wore a lot of makeup and eyeliner, and my hair was dark. But I thought I need something with my because I wanted to use my fingers a lot. You know? So I painted one black, and you guys were on the set, and they took a picture and sent it up to you guys, and I said I want to do my whole hand. I said no, only one. And then I think it was like,
well,
okay,
you asked. You said I wasn't sure if you were doing that to make fun of me with the nail polish. What was the impetus for that? Was it just because you wanted to have like a character thing? Because I liked
you didn't have nail polish then.
I know, but I on and off. I do it. I go in waves.
Oh, really? Well, maybe I did it about 25 years ago in this musical first.
For Cabaret?
Before you were born. Yeah.
Girl, I remember that.
I just cool.
I mean, it's a good look. I think painted fingernails, I've always been a proponent of this. I think it always is a cool thing. I mean, it does just you gesticulate differently.
I did Cabaret for like, 8, 9 months or so, and I left it on the whole time.
Yeah, it's cool.
Banged up. Yeah, it's cool.
It's rock and roll. I've always liked it.
Hey, Darren.
Yes.
I'm proud of you, man. You're really an inspiration. You've got so many things going on. You're so driven. And just when a guy like me gets a little tired, it's like, I've done enough. That I look at you, I said, oh man, I got to get another couple TV shows. This guy's, but and I know
thanks,
you're going through. Your father passed away, and he was.
A lot of things.
He's got to be so proud right now. He really does.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, listen, he led a great life, and I was glad that he got to see a lot of the fun stuff that I got to do. And you guys got to hang out with. You got to meet a lot of people that I loved. It's all good. It's all part of the majestic. Insanity of life, but thank God he lived a good one. But royalties. Let me ask you this: do you ever feel like people don't know about a lot of the musical inclinations you have? I mean, this is something I think from all roles that you played, whether you're playing the drums or guitar, you played drums for the fucking Beach Boys, for Christ's sake. Is there any kind of musical muscle that you feel like you haven't gotten to flex? Because you and I are both musicians that have made our way as actors. So is there anything you're like, you know what, man, I'm just dying for someone to ask me to blank?
Um, I don't. I'm dying for people to ask me to stop singing because I'm a terrible singer. I have to work so. You're just so naturally great. I love theater and I love musical theater, but I'm awful, and I have to like. We have the same singing coach, Eric Vitro, and we just like but it takes me months and months and months to learn one song. I'm just awful. I hate it. But
I think that's how every musician feels. I get it because I'm the same way. I've had to kind of fall into the singing thing. I'd always prefer to play an instrument than sing.
yeah,
John, I love you. We only have
I
a
love
couple
you.
minutes. I'm sure we'll talk soon. You add so
Congratulations.
much to the show. Thank you, bud. And
Watch my favorite scene was that pickle scene with Kevin.
that's a great scene.
I love
That's
it.
why.
Yeah.
And I'll have fans know that scene was the character of Elliot Peck was written as the voice of Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, and so the fact that it's you, it makes it even just a weirder cocktail than I could have ever imagined. You bring so much to it. We
The
love you,
show is
man.
really fun. Watch it. I mean, it goes all over the place. And I remember reading, going like, "How is he going to pull all this together?" But you did beautifully. It's really
I don't
fun
know
to
how we
watch.
did it, man,
It's
but
great.
it's thanks to folks like you that were so good to me to do this. So, mwah, I love you, man.
Love
I will
you.
talk to you soon, bud.
Okay. Bye. Bye, everybody.
So, I was kind of alluding to this earlier. This show is something that the writing took a long time, and the thinking about it was gestating for a long time. But ultimately, shooting it, and putting together was fast, furious. Whoa, sorry guys. Can you hear me? Okay, we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Don't call me right now. So, what was I going to say? Oh, so I had to rely on the goodness of a lot of friends to help me out at last minute. And at one point, when we originally shot this pilot presentation, this little kind of short version of the show, which I'll get into a bit later, Nick Lang actually played the part of this character. And when we were getting into it, much like John Stamos hates to sing but's very good at it, and Nick Lang hates to act, even though he's also very good at it, he's like, I don't know, I just want somebody else to do it. And I said, who would you want to have? And he said, well, do you know that guy from like the Spider-Man movies? And I was like, Tony Revolori? Yeah, he's actually like a friend. Let me ask him. And God bless this man who I adore. He fucking said yes, like immediately. And by the grace of just the fates, I don't know how it all happens, but he was available and he did it. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Revolori, aka Theo, on our show,
Yes.
and he plays our hapless engineer who has to be around for all the shenanigans of writers, much like in real life. What's up, man?
Yeah.
How you doing?
How you doing? I'm good, man. I'm good. Just
Have you-
enjoying
have-
some fresh air.
Have you checked out the show?
I have watched it a good 6 times.
Really? What?
Yeah. I can't get enough of these songs, man. I'm addicted to it.
Thanks.
Sometimes I'm just driving and I'll put on the playlist.
I can't thank you enough. I was talking about this in a second for you coming in last minute and doing this. We became friends like
Yeah.
a year and a half so before this really kind of got the wheels turning. And when Nick said your name, I just couldn't fucking believe it because I was like, of all the people you could have said, this dude is like a drinking buddy at our bar. He's the man. Like,
But it's also haplessly funny. You didn't even know this, but I think we had a short conversation about it that I was an actual sound engineer for about 2
I was going to bring that
summers.
up. Yes.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
I down in Orange County, I really liked the musical aspect, but I was not very good at playing instruments. So my dad, put me as a engineer for like 2 summers, and I did a couple of internships, and I actually was an assistant sound engineer for a Dave Matthews Band, like one of their albums for
Wait,
a summer.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I put out that Dave Matthews cover song. Like that's so crazy. I put out a
that's
song
right,
with
yeah.
Steve Aoki that's like, whoa, weird circle of life. What was
Yeah.
worse, being Theo, if Theo was a real person, like if that was that role at all similar to your experience as a Dave Matthews engineer?
Almost, because I mean, I was a glorified assistant as the assistant sound engineer. I would go get the coffees and do everything, and obviously connect all the cables and everything, make sure everything's in tune. And for royalties, I just felt like I was servicing you guys.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was great, and it was so much fun.
You were such
And
a
just
good
seeing you
sport.
guys.
One of my big fears of casting you in this, I was like, oh, like first of all, Tony is like, he's a movie star. He's a good actor. I don't want to put him behind the glass, and be kind of like the sort of the straight man to this comedy duo between the two of us. But you were game, and you did a really great job with it, man. You're super funny, and I'm glad you just had such a good time. For those of you who don't know, engineers in a session, that's like the people that are on the buttons, so to speak, people on the lap. These days, it's less and less in the studio and more on laptops. And, you know, a lot of times those songwriters are the engineers. People can do them all themselves. But for the sake of a triumvirate of comedy, I wanted to have those be separate and have this poor guy who has to kind of be the indentured servant of these.
They gave me some good books. I was happily on the other side, and I think honestly it was just really hard not to like keep laughing when you guys were just on the other side of it.
I'm gonna inflate my ego for a second. What's your favorite song?
All right. I love Just That Good, but I think Mighty as Kong is my favorite.
Really? The reason why I asked again was not I wasn't really sure. I was curious if you were partial to Make You Come True, which is sort of the You song.
I love Make You Come True. I think it's great. I obviously listened to that song way more than any of the other ones.
Right, because you shot.
Because I shot it with Jordan and everything. I mean, I love the song, but I think Mighty as Kong is just such an easy song to explain how the show is. It's like, what's the show about? It's like, there's these songs and these songwriters, and there's a song about, you know, King Kong having a tiny dick. It's like,
what more do you need to explain?
There's and it's Mark Hamill,
right?
You know, singing it. Fucking shit.
We got to pinch ourselves, man. It's like, what world do we live in? You're in the Marvel world. We get to hang out with Mark Hamill. It's like, what is life? I love you, man. I got to get on to our next pal.
Yes.
And I look forward to seeing you in real life very soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Cheers, bud.
See ya.
Thanks for joining us. So as Tony mentioned, you know, there's some songs. If you're just joining us, we're talking about Royalties, and we're celebrating the album full release. There are 10 songs for the 10 episodes of Royalties, which is on Quibi. And the album now has 2 extra songs, including some of the songs we were just talking about. The song Make You Come True, which is sung by Jordan Fisher. We have Mighty as Kong, sung by Mark Hamill. The list goes on and on. You can check them out. But I'm going to introduce a friend of mine who actually, here's an interesting fact. We actually lived in the same room. Not at the same time, but nonetheless in the same house, because we have lots of LA family and history together. Please welcome the lovely, the wonderful young lady who plays Kendra, aka the manager of Pierce and Sarah, Georgia King, we're waiting to join us right now. But I'll just tell the story while we're waiting for her. I lived with one of my good friends, Jeff, for many years in Los Angeles. And when I moved out, as you know, if you have roommates, if you're like, hey, I'm going to move out, it's, you know, good practice to find a new roommate so they can keep the rent alive. And so when I met Georgia, she had just started on The New Normal, which is one of Ryan Murphy's shows. And so when I met her, we just got on like a house on fire. And she was looking for a place to live. And I was like, I've got a great idea. Do you want to take over my room? So she took over, and I missed the house. That was some good times. And Georgia and I have been buddies ever since. We're workout buddies as well. And it's not working, unfortunately, Georgia. I'm so sorry. But feel free to check out her stuff. It says Georgia McKing is unable to join. Blame the internet. Blame the craziness of 2020. That's a bummer. But she, like I said, she plays Kendra, our manager. She's so funny on that. And she's actually very British. She tends to play American roles all the time. And so I was like, can I please have you actually be your lovely British self with your lovely British accent? And she crushed it, and we love her. And I'm sorry that she can't join us, but I'm going to move right along because we're now back on schedule. I'm going to have another friend of mine from the days of yore. A man that I'm not really going to make any introductions. I'm just going to have him show up if I can get his name to show up in my dang thing. Hold on a sec. Go live with, it rhymes with Shmevin Shmemail. If he can join here. Why are these always happening? Okay, Kevin, I've totally false alarm. I'm going to get Georgia to join. All right, one more time, just in case anybody hasn't dropped off. I always love seeing the numbers drop and they're like, it's not working, not interested. We're going to try it, Georgia, just this one more. There she is.
Oh my God.
Hello, darling.
Hello. Turns out I'm a grandma when it comes to technology.
Are you kidding me? I have to have like 80,000 people explain to me how to use stuff. Like when people say stuff, have you seen this thing Instagram? I have to ask Mia, be like, how do I look this up? And she has to show me because I'm the fucking worst with Instagram.
Unbelievable.
I like know what I want to post and I have people help me post it. So no worries. You look beautiful.
Oh, thanks, darling. I'm so happy to see you. It's so wonderful to listen to everyone talk about the show. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say I was rooting for you to do this forever. I always wanted you to be in this show because I adore you and you're a wonderful comedian of sorts. Again, nobody wants you to be British. And it pisses me off. What is with that?
I know. Thank you so much. I think since I haven't been able to play British for so long, I felt like I have never been more British than in your show.
Well, what's great is you actually made the conscious effort to up your British game. There's some really goofy British improvs that we had to like go through. One that I've been saying constantly is this isn't even a Britishism. You just say it so Britishly that it seems like it. Where you said, "Gets to work with you, lucky sausage."
Lucky sausage. Yeah.
I was like, I could feel the Queen like high-fiving me with that line.
My mom and everyone in England hearing.
So I was telling everybody that, we lived in that same room, that beautiful little spot in Los Feliz, Los Angeles, with our mutual, very good buddy, Jeff Jernigan. Yeah. Shout out to Jeffy.
Hi, Jeff.
I just heard some news. So you are also you are a creative of sorts. You've always been walking me through the things that you're writing, working on, and directing. I heard that there is a directing gig in your horizon. Is that something you're allowed to talk about?
Yes, desperately. After months of quarantine. Yeah, I never planned on acting. I always wanted to be a director. And then I sort of fell into acting, did a little bit of that, fell into comedy, fell in love with comedy acting. And then finally I'm kind of getting my directing stuff into gear. So yeah, I pitched on my first feature and it's a script from The Blacklist. I love it so much. The writer is so talented, Max Tax. So yeah, at some point, some time in the future, we'll be able to make this really beautiful, funny, life-affirming film together.
That's so wonderful. But I hope you don't
give up play the lead?
Definitely not. I'm good. I'm happy to take back seat to your visions anytime. I'm so happy you could join us. I'm sorry I have to kind of barrel through this. I just wanted to see your lovely face.
So sorry for the hiccup. Joining
Not
you.
At all.
Congratulations.
Congrats
so
to you on the directing gig. I'm so glad. I hope you don't give up on the acting thing completely because if there's a season 2, I want you back.
Please. Can Kendra sing in season 2?
Ooh, I don't know. Can she?
She can. We don't know.
We'll find only one way to find out. Well, my best to the lad.
So much.
And we'll see
congratulations.
Soon.
Bye.
Thanks, babe. Bye.
Bye.
If you can't tell, I just spend most of my time. I've spent my life chasing my heroes, which we'll get to, / just trying to get my friends into stuff. And Giorgio certainly no exception. Speaking of getting friends into stuff, I see a lot of stuff that says, please have Kevin be next. Please have Kevin be next. Well, guess what? He's not next. So cool it. I'm not going to invite Kevin McHale, and I'm not typing the name Kevin into my thing right now. It's never going to happen. We didn't even get along on the show. Didn't you hear all those rumors? Kevin and I fucking hated each other. Yeah, that's right. Damn it. Well, I guess we really did because the internet is not wanting me to invite Kevin. But Kevin, much like a lot of my friends who really kind of came in a pinch to do this, was such an angel. I can't believe that he said yes. Kevin, I don't see you, baby girl. I don't know where you is, man. I'm just not winning at this. Kevin, if you're watching, buddy, I'm going to skip to the other dude because I don't know where he at. So I'm going to skip to another homie of mine whose very name inspires music. Ladies and gentlemen, my very good friend, Cord Overstreet, will be joining us, a.k.a. the lead singer of your favorite butt rock band, Switchback Jacket. There he is. What's up, dude?
What's going on, brother?
You look like such a goddamn rock star.
I woke up like this.
I have a feeling you've been sleeping in that for days.
No, I just put it on. What's going on, man?
Dude, I'm just, pushing product, trying to show people how wonderful and talented my friends are. I have to tell everybody who I've been kind of saying this earlier, and now Cord's gone. For a lot of the show, because we had to do it so fast and furious, I had to rely on the goodwill and just up for itness of my good friends, and Cord and Kevin were like, sure, I'll do it. And you guys are fucking hilarious. Did you get a chance to see it? Did you watch it?
Yeah, it finally worked for me.
Yeah, did it work?
Yeah, the link for some reason wouldn't work, and then I switched phones and it worked. So I don't know, but it's probably an update thing. But yeah, dude, it's so funny, so fun.
What did you think of your look? Were you happy with the way it turned out?
Yeah, I mean, I look ridiculous. I look like kind of like a mix between like Scott Stapp and Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, it's like a 30 seconds to Vedder Scott Stapp.
Yes, that's exactly what
it was. Kind of like a butt rock, new rock, all in one cocktail. I kind of wanted to make it all those things. You were fucking great, man. One of my favorite things is a shot of you doing the Running Man by yourself.
Oh my gosh, yes. Was that one of the drone shots?
Yeah, it was one of the drone shots. And what people don't know is that was the very last day of shooting. You guys were covered in black and leather and denim and guy liner and this wig, and it was like 100 degrees.
It was so hot. It was.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I think we didn't we all go out for a drink afterwards?
I'm sure we fucking did. It
After
was
being
definitely
in the
necessary.
sun all day?
Yeah, it was the last day of shooting. It was like a big celebration. And you also, like, when I say 100 degrees, I'm not even like being idiomatic. I think it was quite literally 99 to 100 degrees.
Oh yeah, it was hot.
You guys just fucking crushed it. And a little factoid here. You guys came in so last minute that we didn't have time to record your vocals beforehand.
That's
so
right.
The guys were both lip syncing to my vocal, which was a scratch vocal. And so by the time we had Cord and Kevin record it, they had already lip synced to mine. And so when I was in the edit room, you did such a good job of doing my thing that I was like, shit, which one should we use? Because the sync was better on my vocals.
It's weird to think. It's weird because when you're syncing something up to a sound and then you sing it without any video footage,
right?
I mean, there's no way you could really match that.
Yeah, but just so people know, there's versions. It's floating around. Maybe we'll release it one day as an extra thing. We have Cord's vocals. We have Kevin's vocals.
I definitely did like two different takes. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do like more of like a kind of a Creed.
Oh, it was hilarious. It just didn't sync. So anyway, I asked both of them. You guys were like, whichever one's funnier. So it's my vocal. And actually, just as an insider thing, it's kind of hilarious that like the two of you guys are lip syncing me doing a character voice.
I think it makes it funnier.
Yeah, I think it's way funnier. It's funny. That could have. I'm trying to think in what world on Glee could that have been a number, and I was like, I don't think it could have. So I'm really glad that we did it.
We never did any Nickelback songs on Glee.
You know what? We could have. I don't remember.
You know what? I don't think we did. I think that's like the one genre we never touched.
Yeah, butt rock. Something about that. I don't know. Like, and that's kind of like an unfair term. I know that's like a loving, silly term we give that genre of music. I'm like, listen, I'm here for never made it as a wise man. I mean, like, you can't look me in the eye and tell me that's a bad song. Like, I'm just sorry. Yeah, those guys kick ass. Also, they're laughing all the way to the bank. They're still one of the biggest bands in the world. Everybody makes fun of them. Yeah, it's like, come on, like, give them a break. People enjoy what they enjoy. I love you, dude. I want to get Kevin on here, and hopefully I'll see you around very soon. People should know you have a song that there's like a remix of it, right? There was
I just had a song come out, a remix come out Friday.
Yeah, by Makita, right? What You Need. Great song.
Yeah.
If people want to hear not my voice with Cord's mouth moving, but his actual beautiful voice, because Cord himself is also an incredible songwriter. The show is about songwriters. Comes from a songwriting family. Cord is a songwriter that I've always loved and admired, and that's something that I think maybe not a lot of people realize. But definitely check out his music. He's always been so good, and I just listened to the song this morning. It's awesome. A nice summer jam. I love you, buddy.
I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. All right, have a good one.
You too, buddy. All right. I'm not sure if I get to have Kevin join here because I see my buddy Rufus Wainwright is waiting here, and so I don't know. What should we do? Should we have Kevin next or Rufus? So Rufus, if you're here, we just got pushed back as things happen. If you don't mind waiting 5 minutes, I'm going to talk to Mr. Kevin McHale because we've had some technical difficulties, and we want to make sure that we can have everybody see all the folks that have been involved in this thing. But for some reason, Mikhail, I don't know what your thing is, man. It's like you don't show up. I guess I need some help here. This is so unsexy when I have to stop all this stuff like this. Kevin, baby, I don't know where you're at. Doesn't seem to come up on my Instagram. No, 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 no. So unfortunately, Kev, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to introduce somebody who has been a longtime hero and inspiration of mine, who I'm very lucky now to call a friend and a collaborator and co-collaborator and co-conspirator. He plays a wacky character by the name of Jacob Jewell, a music icon of sorts. We kind of based him on Wayne Coyne from the Flaming Lips. We'll get more into that right now with none other than the wonderful Rufus Wainwright, one of my favorite artists in the whole wide world. Rufus, where are you at? Hey, man.
I'm here.
Hey, pal. Thanks for waiting around.
Having me.
So I'm just going to talk really quickly about the background of this. We really wanted you to be part of this show, but because of just how fast and furious things were, things got moved around, and next thing you know, within 24 hours of you saying yes to this thing, you show up on set with this wacky wig that you were totally game for, and I will forever be in your debt for this. And because we had to move some shooting things around, we ended up shooting that video on a green screen in a fucking kitchen, which was just the most scrappy sort of fuck it, let's just do it thing that I was so embarrassed by, because I get Rufus Wainwright to come and do a thing for me, and I give him like the sideshow version of it. So that was so kind of you to do it. I hope you had fun, and you sound so beautiful on the track. And thank you. Have you gotten a chance to watch the show? Are you happy with it?
I saw it, and I was actually pretty funny, which
you were.
I'm quite insecure about, which probably makes me even funnier.
I think it does,
because I actually get crushed if I think I fail. So because comedy's all about being crushed, right? Sort of.
Yeah, it is. It kind of is. It's self-effacing. For those of you that don't know, aren't familiar with Rufus's music, Rufus comes from a very esteemed lineage of wonderful folk singer-songwriters, both Canadian and American, and Rufus himself has always put out really beautiful music that kind of spans from all kinds of inspirations, and has always been a big inspiration for me. Rufus, you've been doing a whole lot of music during the quarantine, and I wish I could say I made this up, but I didn't. I hate you for it. Is your quarantunes at your piano at home. I've loved that, so I encourage people to check that out. But you also have an album coming up that I was lucky enough to get a sneak peek at, which I love.
Thank you.
And can you tell people about this little thing you have?
Yeah, no, I have an album coming out on Follow the Rules on July 10th, so a week or two from now. And I did these quarantunes. I sang a lot from home. And it was funny because I was thinking about the show that we did, your show, and some of your other guests you were talking about like what they looked like or who they were, and I was, of course, I'm Jacob Jewell, right? That's his name.
Yes, that's his.
Yeah, but I was thinking like who was he, or what how would one describe him? And I was thinking like he's kind of like a cross between Howard Stern and Joan Crawford. So,
yeah.
So it was, thank you for allowing me to put those two together.
Yeah, I don't think I ever really would have. I mean, that was the whole point of the show. And I mentioned Wayne Coyne earlier from the Flaming Lips. So the three of them together, and that's a cocktail party I would love to see unfold. You also have something that I got to take a look at, which I love, because I went to a couple of your concerts before the quarantine where you did a couple great you were doing covers of great songwriters, and there's a wonderful rendition you did that I was so glad to see on this. I'm sorry if this is a spoiler. You did a at the Paramore Manor house mansion in LA, and this is a concert that you did during quarantine where everyone's social distant and everything with masks. And you open by singing a wonderful Jerry Herman song called Dear World. If it's a song, because the show's about songwriters, Jerry Herman being one of the greats, obviously, I encourage all of you to check out that song.
Recently passed, Jerry.
Recently passed away, amazing legacy. Do you want to talk, when does that come out? When is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, we did the live stream from the Paramore, and the response was so fantastic that I think we're going to do more with those recordings, but it will be aired again on RTA, which is a European channel, and also on All Arts on PBS. So it's going to be around. And I will say, with that song "Dear World," I mean, my dad, Loudon Wainwright, he always gives me a little bit of grief when he really likes people to be credited, for their work, and I get that. It's important. But I opened the show, the Paramore show, with that song, and my dad wrote me back and said, "That's an amazing song you wrote." Dear
Just say
World.
thanks, Dad.
No, yeah, I wish.
I fucking wish I wrote that song.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I wish I'd written that song. He was like, "That's a keeper, Rufus." I'm like,
I know. I had guilt about you not writing any songs for this show. Maybe second season if that happens.
Yes.
We got to move on, man. But
Yes.
lots of love. Thank you for being here.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much, man. We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye.
All right. See you, man. Bye. All right. I know my friend Bonnie, who I have lots to say about Bonnie. There's like not enough time to talk to all these people. We might go a little over. Bonnie, if you're with us, I have to try one more time to get my buddy Kevin McHale. And if third's not the charm, then I guess it's not going to work. So I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed that this works, because I wanted to talk to Kevin about a few things. Yes! Oh, wait, it didn't work.
Sorry. What?
Hey, excuse me, sir. Do you know who Kevin McHale is? I'm trying
No,
to reach...
never met her.
Oh, yeah, she's off somewhere.
But I have the phone, so this
do.
is what you're getting.
Look at you. Look at that hair.
I'm a mess. I'm a mess.
No, you just look really cool. You look good. The hair thing. Look at this. You just look like a hip guy that I'm like. I would buy gear off you. I'd buy music gear off you.
Well, I have some. You want any?
Yeah, I guess so. Hey, man, dude. I don't know if
How's it going?
It's going good. I was telling Cord the same thing. You guys really helped me out in such a pinch, and you were so fucking funny. I hope you're as happy with it as I am. Did you get a chance to check it out?
I mean, like, I don't know necessarily what your intentions were with setting out to do this show, but getting to do, I mean, we got to do it on Glee for 8 billion years, but like getting to do crazy shit like that with your friends, especially in your position where you get fucking like Rufus Wainwright, like what?
Yeah, I know.
Like to sing these songs and to like play these parts, especially like growing up around the music business, where you sort of just get to like fulfill all those dreams of like, let's go stand up in like Griffith Observatory and sing this crazy song and pretend to be rock stars. Like, it's great.
Yeah, man. Oh, Jenna's here. Hey, Jenna. There she is. You are also a great songwriter, and you and I are both audiophiles, music files. And I really wanted to have you in Cord specifically for this, because and a lot of people on from the Glee class are write music and are very adept in the songwriting world. But you have always been somebody that I always love to compare notes with on songs we like and vocal performances and stuff. And I just have to shout out, because I know you've released music in the past year or two. James Dean is a really fucking good song. It does not have the amount of streams as it should. But I just wanted to shout that out, because you are a good songwriter,
you were
man.
very good at it's nerve-wracking, like sending your music to your friends, and we both have done that, and we have a really good little group that we can do that. Like Cord was sending me music last night.
His stuff's great too.
So it's nice that we can like do that with one another. I appreciate the honest feedback with the music.
Are you doing other like sessions? I mean, not even just during the quarantine, but have you been writing, whether for yourself or for other people? Is that something I don't know?
Mostly for like Austin's been working on music. He writes an album like every weekend, so he's been working a lot with my buddy Justin, who is a great producer, and so helping like more of my friends do the things.
Yeah, which you have always done. You helped me. And you also, like I was telling a story about how your vocals on it were so good. You were like almost too good with those like, and they're perfectly tailored. Like you had the whole mid-2000s like snarl.
I mean, that's what we grew up with, you know?
I know, anything that went like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything with that is kind of in our blood at this
Yeah.
point.
I didn't know I could do it until I got in the booth. I was like, oh, all right.
Oh,
I
it's
think I
there.
got this.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry that I have to yield your time for the one and only Bonnie McFucking Key.
Oh, no, it's fine. Bonnie McKee is the fucking best. Bonnie,
Yeah.
I love you. She's a
Yeah.
goddamn legend. You should go
She's an
talk to her.
angel. So I'm gonna talk to her, but I love you, man. Thanks for
Love ya.
helping me with the show. And I'll
Of
see you around.
course.
All right, see you, bud.
Everybody should go watch it. It's fucking hilarious.
Yes, watch Royalties. Bye.
Bye.
Just in case you're joining us, we are talking about the album drop of Royalties because it is a musical show on Quibi, and there's songs of varying genres, but it's about songwriters. And before we made this thing a real show with Quibi, I consulted somebody who I've been a very big, long-time fan of, somebody I've admired as a songwriter forever. Bonnie McKee, if you're not familiar with her work, has written all kinds of hits, namely, and more connected to my career, was one of the writers of Teenage Dream, a song that would be a big part of my career on Glee, and a song that I've always loved. And I've always loved her style, not only as a writer, but as a human being. And she just oozes sex, sophistication, and talent. She is just all the things that I think is worthwhile about our music industry. And I was so glad to get her on the show. She helped us get it sold in the first place. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a second. So please, I know we're running a little behind. Without further ado, the incredibly amazing Miss Bonnie McKee. Join us, Bonnie. You are so rad. There, look at you.
Hi.
Hashtag no filter. That's just what you look like.
Oh, thank you. Well, I woke up like this too. So
there is so much to talk about with you that I'm going to just motor mouth because I want you to talk. But I want people to know that when we started this thing out, because you have such an amazing story of your own in the music world, which is a very different tale. We ended up making this show very, very silly and a very goofy, separate thing. But we wrote a song together, actually, for the pilot presentation, which I guess you can explain to people as like a sizzle reel. And we wrote this song for Chrissy Teigen. And it was called, do you remember what the song was called?
I remember
it's okay
that
if you don't.
was, huh?
There were cowboys involved.
I remember, oh yeah, Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger. And
I
it
remember
was...
there was a Stone Cold Steve Austin reference in that
Yep.
song that I was really proud of. And
yes, me too.
I was really bummed that they didn't get to use it in the end.
It was, cause I'm a lone ranger. But I'm not alone, no,
baby.
Yeah, it was the whole idea was to make it like this dumb pop song, and we had the song, and it is recorded. There's a version of this that hopefully maybe we'll put it in season 2. Something through a variety of strange red tape that the music industry sometimes has lying around. We couldn't end up using that song in the show, so I said, "Fuck it, I can't have the song. I want the songwriter. Give me Bonnie McKee. That's better anyway." Sorry, Chris Egan. I love you. I love you, and hopefully we get to use that song at some point. But we got Bonnie McKee, and we really wanted you to play like a version of some of the pop stars that you've helped really kind of build with your songwriting. So thank you.
It was really, really fun. It was such an honor. I've done a little bit of acting over the years, but my songwriting career took off, and that is kind of a full-time job, as you understand these things. And so I was really excited to do a little acting, and also, to be on the other side where it's like you're singing somebody else's song, because I didn't write the song that I'm actually singing in the episode.
I know.
There's 2 songs, actually. There's 2 songs in the episode, and
There's 2 songs, yes, that we tried to.
Yes, that playlisted today.
I know, on Music Friday. Let Your Hair Down. For those of you who haven't seen this episode, it's sort of a classic creation by committee meeting where the creatives have to talk to this whole corporate mess of people putting in all their contributions to how to write a song, and people kind of get their eyes crossed on how they're going to accomplish this. And this is a meeting that many songwriters have had from the suits that don't know anything about songwriting. It's a classic tale. And so we wrote 2 songs basically of the same structure, Let Your Hair Down and Kick Your Shoes Off, that if you played at the exact same time will line up perfectly. But that was a song that is in the episode that is also included on the album drop of today, and you can hear that. And Bonnie didn't actually write on it, which is so crazy. I had you do 2 things that, like, you didn't write it and you're acting in it. We did a completely different 180 from your day-to-day life, man.
Really fun. I really enjoyed it. And, getting to, first of all, I had to learn the choreography for 2 full songs, for 2 full music videos.
I know.
and I was working with Boom Cat, who is like the most incredible choreographer and like
Yes.
not easy. Okay, like I dance, but this was some next level shit. And then when I got on set, it was also like 200 degrees that day, and it was.
Of course it was.
But
luckily, you know, what was so fun about it, I know you were really worried, you know, the show is such a satirical, it's sort of taking the piss out of things that, you know, if you really want to get into it, like, you know, not all of the stars necessarily are great dancers or need to be. It's like they are, you know, you leave it to the dancers, and as long as you kind of play the fun of all of it, which you did, and I have zero complaints, then it works. So I hope you're happy with it. I was so happy to have you there. Just to give a shout out to some things you're working on, you have a song that came out with Fangs and Cobra Kid, right? Fangs with PH.
Yeah, I've been working with a lot of indie artists. I myself am an indie artist, and so you know, a lot of times people sort of like write people off if they're not signed to a major label or whatever because I've done all these worldwide hits or whatever. But I write. I like
whatever.
I
love that.
I like projects that I'm passionate about, and so I've been working with Cobra Man, who are a local duo. It's like disco rock shit, which is my favorite, and then Fangs, who is also an incredible artist. So yeah, I had 2 songs come out.
Nice.
And yeah, I've been working on my own album as well in quarantine.
Nice.
All having a lot of feelings right now, and so I'm trying to channel that.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky that we're all lucky that you have the ability to write songs, because now we all get to benefit from your feels. For those of you that aren't familiar, check out Bonnie McKee. If you don't know anything about her, Wikipedia, look up her story. It's an incredible one. Check out all her hits. You know way more songs of hers than I think you realize. Check out her own music, along with the songs she's written for other artists. She is a queen incarnate, and we're so lucky to have her on the show. Mwah. Bonnie, thanks for being with us, and hopefully I get to see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right, onwards and upwards. We got to move because we have some other people that are waiting. So if you're watching this and you're waiting to be called on, just hang tight. This next person is someone who I've also been a fan of for a long time. Like many of the people that we had in the show, I wanted to feature things about them that maybe a wider audience might not be as familiar with. She's been a big star on the wonderful Netflix series Glow for a long time, but she's also a comedian and a musical comedian and writes a lot of original comedic songs, which I encourage you to check out. But she plays Mackenzie, who is the lead singer and front woman of the crazy indie band Polyamorous and the Unicorn Guild, aka the character I play, Pierce's ex-girlfriend, the freewheeling, fun-loving Jackie Tone. Everybody, give it up for Jackie. Jackie, where are you at? Jackie Tone declined. Jackie, don't decline me. What you doing? I'm inviting you to the party. How dare you? I'm going to try it one more time, and hopefully she doesn't let me down. She was in character. She was letting me down. There she is. Hi, Jackie.
It worked.
It worked.
You are so good at this.
I'm just talking to my friends,
but
man.
Like seamless, like it's not easy to like rush someone on and rush someone off, and you
don't jinx
fucking
it.
Weight right, and then you're
Okay,
like,
that's all the time we have for. Thanks, everybody.
Guys,
Say bye to
thank you
Jackie
so much,
Tone.
guys. Have a great day. Thank you, guys. Just Bette Midler on my wall.
Oh yeah, of course. God, you're such a you.
I mean, Twitch.
Yeah, I said you, but you that I'll take it. Okay. Hi, thanks for joining us. There's so many things to talk about. Yes, I think for people that don't know, Jackie is not only a hilarious actress, but is a great musician and a really funny songwriter. And so when we were writing this character, I immediately was like, we have to have Jackie Tone on this. And I have to give you full credit. I haven't mentioned all the other songwriters that we've worked on these songs with because I've been moving super fast, and I encourage you to check out who those people are. But you came in on this session for the song, and most of the time I would come in pretty hard with an idea, right? You weren't at the other sessions, but I knew what the chorus was. I knew I knew what most of it was going to be. And this was the one time you came in, you sat down with your guitar, and you played me a chorus. Do you have your guitar? Of course you do. And you played this. You're like, I don't know, I've been thinking a lot about polyamory, and you just played this chorus.
I'm so low in this frame. I was like,
it's okay. We can use our imagination. What did you sing?
I was like, is it like, it's you I love, but also you, and
right.
also you. Is it? It's you.
You sound
I
so
love,
good.
But also you, and also you,
and also
you. And then,
so just that alone, it was one of those magic songwriting moments. And I talk about this a lot where I say most of the time they aren't magical songwriting moments. Most of the time it's you banging your head against the wall trying to think of the best thing. But every now and then you get these lightning in the bottle moments where you just said, because the song was called One True Loves with a plural S, which is like kind of funny, but it just was not as good as the title Also You.
And I Googled it because as a joke writer, I Googled it and there was like a web series called One True Loves. And I was like, we can't call our song. So I was like, it's polyamory. It's well, I love you. Well, but also you.
But also you. And also, yeah.
And then I just spoke to a couple comic friends. We just batted around a bunch of joke pitches, and I just came to the session because normally you come to a session with like a lyric idea or a line of a chorus. You know, you think of like that Casey Musgraves genius, like Space Cowboy. Like,
yeah, it's a great song.
It's just you want to bite it. It's such a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good one.
This session, I just came to with jokes. Like, remember how fun college was? Polyamory's like that, but forever. You know?
Yep, but forever.
Yeah,
so
forever.
I just want to give you full credit for coming in with such a great idea. And then from there, we added all the other fun stuff. And I love the AEIOU. And then we ended up putting One True Loves on the bridge. But you also are like a great songwriter. You have a series on Amazon, right?
Yes.
With your longtime buddy, Kristen Bell. You wrote like over 50 fucking songs, right?
So that show is called Do Re and Me. It's preschool. And we got pushed back. So we were supposed to come out this fall. But because of the plague, it's now coming out spring 2021.
Great. I mean, animation takes a long time, so it's like...
Oh, yeah, but and it was already taking a long time to then be released this fall, and now we got pushed, because obviously we can't even go to the studio, you can't do anything.
Right. Well, I do get to talk to you and get to hear you sing. That was so beautiful, by the way. I'm sort of like just glazing over that. I have to keep going, because we got some other people we got to talk to, but thanks for doing the show. You really killed it. I hope you like it as much as I do. The song's great. You're great. I fucking adore you.
I love working with you. And this has been this was my first time ever writing something I performed. Like on the cartoon, I'm writing, you know what I mean? So this was, I've written before and I've sung on TV before, but I've never sung something I've written on TV before. So thank you for that.
Thank you for that. Mwah. We got to move on. I will see you next time. Bye, babe. All right. Moving right along. I got a kind of slim pickings here. Not a lot of people left. So much to say about this next gal. I was familiar with a few for things, but when she came up, I checked out her music and got really became an instant fan. And it only got worse when I met her and we got to work together. And now I'm like really all about the amazing Sabrina Carpenter. Lots to talk about with her. She plays Bailey Rouge, one of our pop stars on the show, and our burgeoning young star that we end the show with. So please welcome Sabrina fucking Carpenter. Yo, what up, girl? Hello. It's going good. Thanks for joining us. I'm so good. Thanks for waiting. I know these things always go a little later than.
It's been amazing. I just get to watch this. You kill this show. It's been lovely. I'm wondering what the diplomas are behind you. I've been trying.
They're fake. They're fake. No, they're all my wife's. Are you kidding me? It's she's the accomplished one. It's like NYU this, NYU that. Mine's like the tiny ones.
That's
Michigan,
really funny. I've been trying to figure it out this time. Also paying attention to everything everyone's saying because I'm learning a lot. But it's been good. How are you?
I'm sure that's not true. You know quite a lot, and I always feel bad when I blow your shit up because I don't want to embarrass you. But
you annoy the shit out of me. Oh my god, so curse. Oh my god.
I hate it when people say like, oh my god, I was so impressed by something you did. I always go, what? So what do you think I was gonna fucking blow it? Like, what do you mean by that? So I'm careful to say that to you because I was impressed. I was not surprised. I was so in love with your talent and your professionalism. You're just a great hang. So thank you for bringing that to our show. So let's talk about something really quick that isn't actually royalties. You and I were on Broadway at the same time, man.
I mean, barely, but yeah,
barely.
So close. So close.
I had tickets to see you 3 days after Broadway got shut down. For those of you that aren't familiar, Sabrina Carpenter was making her Broadway debut in Mean Girls, and I was so excited because you and Jordan Fisher who's another Broadway boy, another cast member of Royalties.
And I saw him and Evan Hansen just a few nights before the shutdown. But like, yeah, it would have been a really, really beautiful. It would have been.
We all could have gotten our drinks after our show, talking war
mean,
stories. But you did get to open it. That's the thing. A lot of people didn't get to do. So tell me about that. Was it everything you dreamed of? Was it amazing? Was it scary?
It actually was all of those things you just said. It was literally everything that I dreamed of. I've never felt like a combination of so many feelings at one time. And I guess, you know, for something that I've dreamed of for so long, I didn't expect to do it at this point in my life. So it was something that kind of came out of nowhere. The opportunity came at a time where I really, really needed to step outside of my comfort zone in a lot of ways. And that's exactly what I got to do. And we rehearsed for 2 months, and hopefully we'll get to go back at some point. But I mean, yeah, I want to see you too. I feel like
I mean, it's all about that hang, man. The New York hang after a show. And you're 21 now. We can go get a drink and talk stuff.
It's actually like the universe did that on purpose because it knew that I wasn't going to be 21 yet, and that it would have been the best fun. So,
oh man. Well, I will say, you know, it's not even about the drinks at that point. It's just about the hang. You know, because when you have friends that can't go into, it just you know, shooting the shit and talking about what happened to you on stage tonight. It's the war stories. It's such a great community. I'm so glad.
I think I was always worried about is like the scheduling, because like Mondays are only days off, and then we all only have like the same day off, or is that the same all around? I'm still being
for the most part. Some shows are different, but for the most part, except on Wednesdays and Saturdays, you sleep in all goddamn day and Sunday, which is super nice. So I'm so glad you got to do it. I'm glad you had fun. Thank you for bringing a Bailey to life. You know, what's funny is, you know, we kind of make fun of, you know, just so there's no mistaking out there for any fans out there, you know, Bailey is nothing like Sabrina. Nothing. Well, I mean, like she's kind of like this plasticine kind of like I'll insert her phone. That is not you at all.
The parts of me that my mom like kind of calls out when I'm being bratty, and that was Bailey. Like she was just like all those moments when I'm feeling a little fresher than usual. It's so funny though. Like I give you so much. I mean, obviously I give you credit for like 1,000 things, but especially just even getting the privilege to work with you on set and you being there from like everything from my fitting to behind the camera for every single take, and then in the studio when we recorded the song, like everything was just so wonderful, and to get to experience it with you was such a joy. So
I'm glad you say that, because I feel like a micromanaging stage mom where I'm like, God, I hope I'm not just like freaking these people out. So it's kind of you to say.
You care. It's the best thing in the world.
Dude, it was my baby, and you brought her to life, and it's so beautiful. I love how Perfect Song's one of my favorites. I kind of there's just enough elegance to it that you really just knocked out of the park, and getting to work on your vocal was so much fun because you can fucking sing, girl. You can sing your ass off.
Thank you.
And it was such a pleasure. I'm so glad that we get to know each other, and I hope that we get to see each other in person very soon. I thank you so much for being part of our show.
We're gonna have a great hang soon. Thank you so much. Everybody watch Royalties.
Check out Royalties. The song and Sabrina's song, Perfect Song, is part of the album that comes out today, season 1, the official soundtrack. Check it out because she's amazing on it. We'll see you very soon. Mwah. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, Darren.
See ya. I also failed to mention, because I'm just so excited talking with her. Incidentally, she's in a Netflix project with Jordan, and it's all like a big soup together. There's also a trailer out for a movie that's coming out, or it might already have come out, but The Short History of the Long Road, which is an indie film that she did, where she is tremendous in it. She's just a great kid and a great actor, and shit is just firing up for that one. I know a lot of you love her, and I get it. I'm all about it. This last but certainly not least, the gentleman who I think people always say bears no introduction, I think absolutely does bear introduction. Obviously, I've been a fan of him for a long time, beyond some of the things that people would first think of. He's a tremendous character actor, a great vocalist, and just a great guy, and a fellow fanboy. And we're going to talk about being a fanboy and what that does to one's career. He plays none other than the country rock legend himself on our show Royalties, Philip Combs, who is of course a fictional person, but the person who plays him is very real, very talented, and very fucking funny. Please welcome the wonderful Mark Hamill, aka Hamill himself, as his Instagram handle would introduce him as. It's waiting. I'm not sure it's going in quite yet. Hopefully it's connecting. There he is.
Hey.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Good. You want to point that light more at me there? Okay.
We got it. We're all lit. We're good.
It looks like I'm overlit. I look like Casper, the friendly ghost here.
Friendliest ghost, you know.
More than I want to admit.
So I wanted to talk about being fanboys because, you know, this song, I wish I could say I was smart enough. I've been joking about this in some of the interviews that we've been doing about how you said yes to this because of your personal love for King Kong. And this is something that I had no idea about. And if I was an evil genius, maybe I would have plotted this out in an effort to have you say yes. And the way that you talk about that film and how it got you into films really reminded me that, man, I too have been a fanboy of things, whether it's Star Wars or Batman or other things my whole life, that I guess I want to say, if there's any fanboys watching out there, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Mark, you got to be careful, because if you're a big enough fanboy and you get involved in the industry, you're going to end up making shit for other fanboys, because I had no idea I would end up in this position.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about, you know, you as a kid, you loved King Kong and you loved all these franchises. Were there any other things that just, the way that people just glob onto Star Wars, were there other things that you loved, television, film, music?
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, the earliest memories I have is waiting for the newspaper to arrive on the doorstep because there were comic strips. I think comic strips taught me to read. Peanuts and some, you know, Charlie Brown and all of those. So I loved animation. I loved television, obviously. My parents were really worried because I watched so much television. The movies that were on TV. I discovered all the Universal horror films, Frankenstein, Dracula, you know, the Wolfman and so forth. And I was obsessed with those. I mean, I was always all in. I didn't just sort of like things. I had a mad passion for them, so that when I discovered the Universal horror films, you know, I had to read all about them in Famous Monsters. Who were the directors? Who were the actors? How did they come to be? You know, that was sort of all eclipsed when I was 11 and the Beatles hit. I mean, that was like a entertainment phenomenon like we'd never seen. The music was great. The way they talked was, we'd never heard anybody talk like that. I mean, when A Hard Day's Night came out, they were so self-effacing and natural and funny, and they just rocked my world. And it was one of those things. I mean, now the entertainment is so segmented. There's so many avenues to get your entertainment. In those days, I mean, they were on they were February 12th, 1964. They were on the Ed Sullivan Show. And the next day at school, there was nobody that had not seen the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. So I kept thinking, well, there'll be another Beatles someday that'll come along. And as far as I can see, there never has been. I mean, there's been great artists, no question about it. But in terms of all-encompassing entertainment that just rocks your world, there was nothing like the Beatles. But by the way,
it comes in different ways. Yes.
Well, I was just going to say, you keep talking about my love for King Kong, but I have to tell you, that got my attention. But when they sent me the song, and I hadn't heard that there was even a show attached. I was under the impression that they just wanted me to do this music video. And when I listened to that song, it works on its own as a separate entity. It's like a little mini movie. You establish a premise, you take it to its limits in terms of every single comic variation of what's possible within the song, and then it ends. I mean, aside from it being a really catchy tune, the lyrics are hilarious. I mean, I have to give you credit. I mean, you and Nick and I don't know how many people worked on the song, but it's just a gem, and I'm so lucky to have hooked up with you. So thank you so much.
Thanks,
I mean,
man.
you're insanely talented. I have to tell you, because I've been, you know, when I met you at the Tony Awards, it was my daughter that was really excited. She goes, "Oh, you know, that was Darren Criss from Glee." Now, see, I'm slow on the upkeep. I hadn't seen Glee at that point. Now that I'm sort of coming up to speed on you, and I saw you in Hollywood, and I'm learning about all your credits, so it was a stroke of good fortune that I hooked up with you, Darren.
That's very kind of you, Mark. Something that I love telling people is, when people always associate singing as a different muscle from using your voice or being able to do voices,
Right.
and I know you were hesitant about doing the singing in the booth, but one of my sort of greatest recent privileges in my career was vocal producing you and getting to, and I think at one point you didn't notice this, but you know how like fanboys always get, freaked out about themselves when they say stuff. I think at one point I said, use your instincts or trust your instincts. And I meant that without any shred of irony. And after it left my mouth, I went, fuck, did I just say that?
No. Well,
I was
see,
trying to avoid it.
You're such a good actor. You acted completely professionally and very cool. And I would have not realized that you were trying to suppress an inner fanboy. And by the way, I was really impressed that Tony Evalori mentioned that Kong was one of his favorite songs, and that means a lot because now my goal is to binge watch the whole show.
Please do.
Yeah, I mean, because I sort of was focused on my thing, but now I want to hear the whole album.
The whole album is out today. That's what we're talking about. Mark is one of the songs on it, as Philip Combs singing the song about King Kong's penis. If you don't know why we're singing about that, you can definitely check out the episode. The joke will explain itself. There's just one more thing I want to ask Mark before we go, which is during quarantine, one of the most overwhelming concepts is that, okay, now that you have time, you can watch anything. It's overwhelming. The human race loves options, but we hate deciding. It's like that episode, that Twilight Zone episode, where the guy's glasses breaks.
Yeah.
He finally gets a chance to read his books.
Time enough at last.
Time enough. Yeah.
With Burgess Meredith. Yeah.
Yes. He was a small man, Henry something. I forget what it was. But is there anything that you're like, oh, now I get to watch this, whether they're old movies you want to revisit or that show you never got around to watching? Like, where do you even start? There's so much shit to watch. Like, what's something that you want to get into?
Well, you if I had a top 10 TV series of all time, you just mentioned one of mine, The Twilight Zone. And now that we've lost Carl Reiner, it's a good time for people who haven't seen The Dick Van Dyke Show, one of the greatest all-time sitcoms. And again, a show about show business. I always loved shows about show business. Mary Tyler Moore worked at a news station, and WKRP in Cincinnati was set in a radio station. I love shows about show business. And during this lockdown time, you're right. I mean, I've ordered so many books, and you get them in the mail and you go, oh, good, I got it. And then you put it on your shelf and you don't read it. So that's what my goal is, to try and read all the books I ordered. And, as we say, quoting Twilight Zone, there's time enough at last.
At last. Well, I hope your proverbial glasses don't break. Thank you for joining us on the show. It's
Thanks for having me.
To get to know each other a little bit. Right. You knocked it out of the park, and hopefully we'll see you out there safe and sound.
Have a great 4th of July, everyone.
Thanks. See you, man.
See you.
All right. Well, that's the stuff dreams are made of, guys. Talk about shows about showbiz. Royalties is definitely one of those, in a very satirical way. That was a great suggestion from Mark Hamill, Dick Van Dyke Show. It's just Dick Van Dyke. Carl Reiner just recently passed away, an amazing comedian. His son Rob Reiner, who was not only an actor in Hollywood but a great director himself. So many great things to experience, to watch during this time. Now, also, this is a very tricky time, as you guys know. If you follow me on social media or any of my colleagues on the show, a lot's happening in the world, and it's definitely not something that we ignore or don't want to talk about. I'm just going to invite my co-star and friend Heather Donahue to this Instagram Live. I know we're going a little over time, but we just wanted to talk about some things really quick, just while we had your attention, to kind of leverage any attention on this to something that we both believe in. Hi, Heather.
Hi. Oh, that was so fun.
That was fun, right?
Seeing everybody.
Yeah, I know.
Also,
it's nice to see everybody.
Me and Tony and Georgia did a little 3-way FaceTime right after.
Oh, yeah?
And Tony's texting me right now. I promised I'd ask Tony for you. Are you wearing pants, Darren?
Yes, but I only put them on.
We want proof.
Minutes.
We want proof. Yay! Okay.
But within minutes of this starting.
Of course. Of course.
So recently, a lot of people with platforms in entertainment and otherwise have been lending their platforms to folks who we all believe should have a bit of a spotlight on them. And you recently handed over your social platform to a wonderful young woman, Bria. Would you mind just talking about her for a second? Because I want to pivot this before we sign off. Just talk about her a little bit.
Yes. So I don't know if you guys watch How to Get Away with Murder, but my really good buddy Matt McGorry, who's on that show, owns an incredible company called Inspired Justice. And their whole goal is it's dedicated toward the liberation of Black folks and people of color. And Bria Baker is the director of programs there. And I was honored for her to take over my Instagram recently. And there's just so many things we could all do right now to get on board and help the movement. Something you could do right now, there's a link in my bio for Initiate Justice. It's a wonderful organization dedicated toward ending mass incarceration in LA.
And empowering those who are affected by mass incarceration, not just the people who have been kind of crushed under the criminalization systems, but their families and people in communities that have been ravaged by mass incarceration.
Yes.
Particularly Black communities.
Yes. And also, I think sometimes people have this idea that activism is this it could be fun. So for example, something Bria encouraged me to talk about is another amazing thing we could all do right now is support Black-owned businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And so does anyone like coffee? Do you like body scrub? Because
I like both of those things.
Amazing company called Sheer Necessity, owned by my badass friend Kimberly Kevin Williams. Sheer Necessity, I think she's on. Kimberly, put the link in the comments. I purchased 10 of these. The first 10 people to go into her DMs will get a free scrub. And I am confident that when you use it, you will be a returning customer and you're going to love it so much. You're going to post about it, tag me, tag Darren, tag Kimberly. Just what I'll just say about it is because I love Shark Tank. It's my favorite show. One of my favorite things is when there's a company where someone's not trying to make a business, the business just organically happens. Kimberly was not trying to make a business. She literally had to make it out of sheer necessity, which is the name of it. After her pregnancy, she had stretch marks. She developed eczema. She had all these skin issues. And so her grandma gave her this recipe with coffee beans and essential oils. She put it together, put it all over her body. And all of her skin issues were going away. And at the gym, in the steam room, every week, all the women in the steam room would come in and be like, oh my God, Kimberly, your skin is healed. It's glowing. Can you make me this scrub? So she just started making this scrub for people at the gym. And their skin issues were going away. And then next thing you know, she has this amazing business. And 30% of all of her profits go toward another charity that is also dedicated toward helping Black communities. So
awesome.
It's just
awesome.
You know,
that is fun. That is fun and sexy. So for those, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of places where you go, I want to help. I'm at home. I can't go out to protests, or I'm too young, or I'm immunocompromised. There's these things where you can't leave. It's a very scary thing. What can I do? Whether if you're a white person or any person who feels like maybe helpless, there's only so much you can do. So I'm not here to ask people to necessarily open your wallets, because maybe people are unemployed right now. It's a very difficult time and there's a sense of helplessness. So I would say stay informed, stay listening to the correct voices, support Black-owned businesses, keep an eye out for what's happening in the world. And because we want to give a shout out, I think the link is in my bio. If it's not, it will be shortly. I'm so bad with Instagram. The link will be in the bio for Initiate Justice, which again, per Bria's recommendation. There's so many organizations that are doing such great work. And so just as a small contribution of my own, I think on behalf of the Royalties family, I will be donating $5,000 to Initiate Justice on our behalf. So because I know for a lot of you guys, it's kind of a tough time to be just giving money away. So there are other ways to give your time, give your thoughts, give your energy, and make sure that you can stay involved, stay active, use your voice. And yes, Royalties, the soundtrack came out. It's
Darren,
on Quibi. It's very funny.
Thank you.
It's my absolute pleasure. It's like the least I can do. There's so much that we can do at this time. So as artists, there's this weird thing of like, what do we do? Do we put out art? Do we make people laugh? Is it appropriate? The way that progression works is we do have to march on. And while I'm not using it as an excuse to be like, yeah, fine, let's put out this thing that might be tone deaf, we're a small part of keeping our fists up and keeping people engaged in positivity. It by no means is an excuse to just check out from the movement. I think you should definitely educate yourself on what's going on. But yes, we are here to promote our Celestial Royalties and the music, and it is out. But if you have a chance, please go educate yourself and look at what's going on with Initiate Justice and Inspire Justice as well. And you know, stay part of the world. You know, it's all part of. They're not separate. It's all connected.
Woo!
And some sheer necessity. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Heather, thank you for joining us. Do check out the show if you haven't already on Quibi. Royalties. All 10 episodes are available if you do a 14-day free trial. The album is out. We're really proud of it. It's really fun. Heather sings on it. I sing on it. There's a lot of fun things to celebrate. And go look out for your brothers and sisters out there. We love you. Take care of each other. And stay safe, everybody.
Bye,
thanks for the support, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye. Stay safe. Bye. Thanks again, everybody. So that was the Insta. Yeah, I didn't even do that right. So that was the Insta. That was the Insta. Yeah. That's all I got, guys. Thanks for joining me. If you've been here this whole time, I know there's a lot of you and there's a lot of people talking that you might not be familiar with. I tend to ramble on because I get excited about all these people and about these things happening in the world. I hope you enjoy what we've put out. And like I said, be good to each other. Look out for each other. And I'm sending you all the love and warmth from my home to yours. Stay safe, stay aware, and stay positive, guys. We'll see you next time, all right?